So we have learned that the Nets, that's a basketball team, not a good one, the Nets are showing interest, significant interest, in acquiring Bucks star Giannis Antetokounmpo. Now, this is not exactly a revelation, because why wouldn't you want to add a two-time MVP? The Greek Freak, as he is known, has been toiling his craft there in Wisconsin, and he is a person of interest for the Brooklyn basketball team. Now, I got an email from a big fan of our show who lives in the land of the cheese, and he's like, "Man, what do you think, man? You think Giannis wants to go to Brooklyn? What are you going to leave? He's going to leave the Bucks. He's going to leave the Bucks, right? He's going to leave the Bucks." I'm freaking out. Of course, I have all the answers. As you know, I do an overnight sports talk radio show, and I am a distant relative of Nostradamus and a friend of Nostradamus. I've met him one time. Maybe he'll show up to the one in Vancouver, the meet and greet we're going to do. But anyway, all right, so let's get down to the nitty-gritty here. Giannis is under contract through the 2026-2027 NBA season. He has a player option. He can either tap in or tap out on that through 2028. So the Bucks have no sense of urgency. They don't have to get rid of him. He's going to be around for at least a couple more years. So let us discuss the Brooklyn Nets' Plan A. Plan A is to go after Giannis Antetokounmpo. How does that sound to you? So I've got Brass Bonanza, Commander-in-Chief, and Capital Grill. And we will combine all of these things together, and we are going to have an icing penalty is what we're going to have. So first of all, the reaction, how does it sound? It sounds, the Giannis Antetokounmpo to the Brooklyn Nets story sounds like clickbait. It sounds like aggressive daydreaming, if it's true. And if you dig a little bit deeper below the surface, it's strategic. I put this as a weaponized leak, if you will. The Brooklyn basketball team, which is morbid, is using the art of manifestation. The art of manifestation, they're getting the word out using useful idiots in the media. Like, hey, we want everyone to know. We want you to know. We want you to know. We want everyone to know what's going on here. And they're playing the soundtrack Brass Bonanza from this old retired NHL team in Hartford. They're going whaling. The Hartford Whalers. They're trying to catch the white whale, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and they're hoping to speak it into existence, right? They're trying to speak it into existence. Now, for what it's worth, here, Giannis has publicly expressed loyalty to Milwaukee. In fact, in recent weeks, Giannis said that he would never request a trade. He said they would have to kick me out of the Bucks facility, is what he said to a Greek media outlet. Nevertheless, the speculation continues because it's great clickbait. That's the most important thing. But also, a couple years back, Giannis had said something a little bit different. I mean, even a few months ago, he had said that they could trade him. He had a very emotional reaction to the Dallas Mavericks fire sale of Luka Doncic. And he's like, well, if Luka can get traded, I can get traded and all that. But the idea, and this was from the New York media, that the Brooklyn Nets have Giannis as Plan A. You want to bet that the Golden State Warriors, because Steph Curry is not getting any younger, that the Golden State Warriors have also targeted Giannis, or the Knickerbockers, any host of teams that would, big market teams, the Chicago Bulls, that would like to get their hands on Giannis. It's obvious. All right, now, page 2. We go to the bayou, the shores of the mighty Mississippi River. And the Pelicans, another dog food team. But I talk about more bad teams. I love bad teams. I can't get enough of bad teams. So the Pelicans are an embarrassment. The nickname's stupid. The logo's embarrassing. And the players don't even try most of the time. I bring that up because the Pelicans announced this week that they are shutting her down. Shut her down, shut her down, shut her down, shut her down. It's all over. Zion Williamson has played his final game for the Pelicans. He will not play the handful of games the New Orleans basketball team has left. So this, of course, opened up the floodgates. If you didn't catch any of the shrapnel that was bouncing around. Zion Williamson is being described as a bust. He's a bust. So which way are you voting on this? Is Zion Williamson a bust or not a bust? All right, so the way I will phrase this, the New Orleans Pelicans thought they were going to be making a bust of Zion Williamson for the Pro Bouncy Ball Hall of Fame. Instead, he's a different kind of a bust, the kind that you don't want to have. And by any measurement, Zion Williamson is an absolute failure. He is a 0 for the New Orleans basketball team, considering what they thought they were getting. What they thought they were getting and what they got. The arrow is pointing squarely in the direction of the bust. In fact, Zion is the commander-in-chief of Bust Town, USA. Congratulations. His talent coming out of college wrote these giant cartoon checks that he has been unable to actually cash. The checks have bounced like a basketball up and down. For a player that was tagged as a franchise cornerstone, a generational talent that will take the rest of those stiffs on your roster and carry them into the postseason and great success. The Pelicans have made the playoffs a couple of times. They have no playoff series wins with Zion Williamson. And why is that? Zion is like a 50-50 raffle type of player. And he's only there about half the time. He's a 50-50 raffle player. Zion has actually missed, if you do the math, I've done the Maller math on this, so Zion has missed 258 games. And he has played in just 214 games. So if you do the math on that, Williamson has only played in a little over 45% of the games available. He has missed almost 55% of his work assignments. So he's going to continuation school, and I know a thing or two about that. He's going to continuation school. He's been truant. He's tardy. You get in trouble with that. You're done. Zion has never played more than 70 games in a season. He has missed entire years, as in plural. All right, turning the page. Final thought. We go to Memphis, where the barbecue is good and the basketball is not so good lately. Not so good. An anonymous. I love the anonymous GM. I live for the anonymous GM. I am so happy that we have anonymous GMs. So an anonymous GM in the NBA does not think that you, not me, but you can win many playoff series with Ja Morant, the gun-toting Grizzlies guard, as your best player. Is that fair or foul? Is that fair or foul? So based on a booth review, an expedited booth review, fair ball. It's a fair ball. Now, they have a saying, if you go to the Capitol Grill and you get that diet-type menu thing they have there, they'll say, it's all sizzle, but no steak. And in many ways, that's Ja Morant in big moments. It's all sizzle and no steak. Ja Morant has played in 23 playoff games with the Grizzlies. Memphis has a .391 winning percentage. They're 9-14 in playoff games with Ja Morant. His only playoff series win was a couple years back against the Minnesota Pro Bouncy Ball team. If I remember, that was the year that Pat Beverly celebrated the championship when the Wolves won the play-in tournament, and then they went out there and lost to Memphis. I believe that was the year. But in the playoffs, it's this odd juxtaposition because Ja Morant, his numbers are actually better in the playoffs than the regular season. He averages more points. He averages more assists, more rebounds. His numbers are better in the playoffs in 23 playoff games in his career. However, they're in many ways hollow numbers because they do not translate in wins. And they've been in position, Memphis, to win some of those series, and they only won one of them. And Ja Morant's the face of the franchise. So until he actually wins multiple playoff series, it's absolutely fair. He's got the pen in his hands. He can rewrite the story.